Hey, what's going everyone? Welcome back to Train Sim World 2. Today we are on East Coastway. Let's get the doors open. Stick that into forwards. There you go. And we are here in the class 377, dressed up as a 450. Ooh, lag. There you go. Dressed up as a 450. Because why wouldn't you? Look at this. We're going to, for a full run, from Brighton all the way over to Eastbourne. It's timetable to take 34 minutes, stopping at Falmer. Let's get the doors locked. Falmer, Lewis, Glynde, Holgate, and Eastbourne. So without further ado, let's get moving. Speed set to 25. Headlights, I've already set them. Set speed set to 25. There we go. Very cool. Very nice. So yes, Southwest trains. I've been meaning to do this for ages. And here we go. And I've also been meaning to get back onto East Coastway. So the next two videos will be on East Coastway. Because, you know, why not? We got... Well, speaking of London, Victoria, we got Rush Hour London to Brighton coming out soon, where the instead of branching off here on the double tracks, we'll be going all the way up here, all the way, and further, all the way over to London, which will be very, very cool indeed. We've got lovely, nice big depots to play around with. Hopefully we can actually get inside them. It'd be really cool if Dovetail figured out a way to combine routes, because it'd be so cool having, you know, combining these two routes together. That'd just be fantastic. You know, you could... And, you know, this isn't going to happen, but if it did as well, one of the super cool things they could do would be, because there's a branch here that just connects up with the Brighton main line. So they could add that route into the other route, so they had this line up to London, which should go up here, and then that line as well, which should just knock in there, and then you could operate the freight services from here all the way up into London and beyond. Right, let's get the objective marker turned off. Objective marker, there you go. More realistic driving experience, shall we? That was a rhetorical question, I would have done it anyway. Lovely. So as usual, this livery comes from the TS community website, Southwest Trains. Yes, it's very nice. Love my Electro Stars. Love them. And I think we can get around in the tunnels now, which is nice. Notice board light. Where is the notice board light? There it is. That still perplexes me where the cab light button is. Anyway, whatever. And then driving 387s up and down. Mind you, we are going to look at more 387s coming up. Yeah, so got plenty of 387 videos planned. Plenty of them. Including, but not limited to, Aether Express again. And maybe some more... Oh, we can go up to 70. And maybe some more Great Western Railway. So yes, and of course, you know, in a few weeks' time, hopefully it's only a few weeks' time, we shall be getting the Class 387 in the simulator, which will be very, very cool to see. Can't wait for that. We've got Rise of Dresden coming out either this week or next on Thursday. That's going to be very exciting to see. And as I've said in previous videos, it's a little bit disappointing that we don't get any new rolling stock, but we do get a lovely new bustling route, and some enhancements to the existing stock that we will be getting in that route. Okay, coming up to half a mile. I'm going to have to slow down to 60. Not that aggressively. Okay, we'll just stick it into brake 1 because we're about a minute early coming into Falmer. There's a 60 reduction. Okay, 600 yards. Falmer, I believe, is the station that has the has the massive ramps on either side that are pretty badly modelled, but given the limitations, they're all right, I guess. I mean, if you just look at this, what is going on here? What is going on here? I mean, they're not badly modelled. It just seems a little bit weird. Love the horn. It's so nicely done. Yeah, that is really nice. And I'll just say it now. Thank you to everyone who clipped me in the last video. That was so very kind, and I can't thank you enough. It was really funny. Everyone laughed at your jokes, I'm sure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, jump onto my Discord server, and you shall see. Or just look in the comments. But yes, they were very, very funny. I'm sure every single person will find them funny. But yeah. But yeah, it's really contrasting, you know, this route not being busy at all. You know, you look at the PIS, the first at 14:09, the second 11 minutes after. You know, it's just soul opposites from what we're going to see on London to Brighton, but it's still so nice. I really love, like, because this isn't even commuter rail, this is regional rail, but I love regional rail in the south of England because they got the third rail, so they use the consistent stock across all of the forms. You know, these trains run express services to London, but they're also running slow commuter services, yes, and also very slow regional rail. That's just, you know, and I find that really, really cool. We need to have some more diesels as well, but we are getting the 150, which is going to be very cool, very nice to drive. Quite similar to the 314. Speaking of which, I should drive more of the 314, but that's alright because I have a livery planned for it. I have videos planned well into the advance. Okay, full whack. Let's go. And I haven't driven on East Coastway for a while either. This is so cool. So cool. Very nice. I do like it. Turn the frame counter off. I know I'm going to get consistent frames. Okay, got a friend coming along. So we're running semi-fast. So we're only stopping at Lewis, Glindy, I've got no idea how to pronounce that, Polegate and Eastbourne. We're due in Eastbourne in 25 minutes. Which, you know, shouldn't be that hard. But whatever, we shall see. We shall see indeed. Gonna need to be careful here because the speed set on this train is very notorious for not slowing down. Okay, we're going to need to use some manual braking here, just to hold the speed. Hold it. It's really awkward only having 3 notches of brake, because you have to keep going in limbo, and it must suck for the passengers. God, but it's so nice. I like driving this train. It is very nice to drive. Very nice to drive. Especially the sounds and how everything's animated so nicely. It's just nice. Seats. Oh god. Brake. And now you can sit in it if we weren't already sitting. Right, so we've got progressional, is that a word? I think it is. Progressional speed limit lowering coming into Lewis, which it's Lewis itself only having a 10 km/h speed limit, which is good fun. Everyone loves Lewis for that reason, obviously. Got a 377 in platforms there. Be fun. Okay. Going to put notch 1 brakes in, holding it into the 55 limit that is coming up. And whilst we are waiting for that 55 limit, may I just remind you that if you are enjoying the video, please do consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. We've got a sub goal of 1,000 subs by the end of the year, which is totally achievable. More than half of my viewers are not subscribed, and if you're one of them and you do enjoy the channel, please do consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you like the video. And also comment what you think I should do next. And join my Discord while you're at it. Okay. Very nice. So you can see here we got the 10 mph limit and the coming up to Lewis in both about half a mile. So we'll get on the brakes early, just because it is very slow crawling round, and it is very slow. Okay. Oh, this route is so realistic. This route was like the bridge between the original Train Sim World 2, where everything was, you know, they released a burst of 3 new routes, and, you know, they marketed it in a similar way to Train Simulator, and the bridge to Train Sim World 2, where everything was just released as it came, if you know what I mean. Because the original, how they were in Train Sim World 2, that, you know, it came out as CSX Heavy Haul, and then when you bought it, you'd get Rapid Transit, Great GWE, and something else, and then they released you'd get NEC, GWE, and Rapid Transit, and then they released MSB, NTP, and the LIR together. Or not together, but at the same time, branded under the same, and then shortly after they released Peninsula Corridor, and then branded that again under the same thing. And then, you know, they released the and then they just started releasing stuff as it came, really. You know, all of the S-Bahn and routes, Resignored, all of the... Oh, something else is coming in. Alright. All of the other routes, like Tees Valley. Yeah. So yeah, really excited to see the upcoming routes, especially West Cornwall Local. I'd like to see more about that. We're all basically just still waiting for Rivet to publish more things. But you know, we shall see. But it's really cool that they're including the HGST and the 150. I guess it would be nice to have an 800 or an 802, purely for the driving experience, and it would also be quite nice to have a Great Western liveried 150. But I guess you can chuck them into your own liveries. And I guess dual mode is hard at this point in the game, so they just want to keep everything simple. Which, you know, I understand. We don't have any dual modes in the game at the moment. No, we don't. Which is interesting, but we have some dual mode electrics, but we don't have any dual mode diesels. their in-train simulator though. Yeah, that one's gonna be really cool to see. And then of course London commuter, Rice to Dresden. What else is in the makings? I'll look it up. I won't use my computer because it will literally murder everything that has ever existed. I'll look at the last roadmap. What's coming up? There's more Loco DLCs on the horizon than Roots, but I guess a lot of Dovetail's main efforts have been put towards creating Rush Hour and all of the other things related to that, and they're working now on Rice to Dresden and London commuter, obviously. But it will be nice to see some other routes, especially the Steam update. That'll be really cool to see. Whenever that may be, which don't get your hopes up too high because it's Dovetail, so it'll be delayed probably. It will be delayed probably. But based on going back to the Rush Hour routes, based on what we've seen from Boston Sprinter, I think the other two hold great promise. Great promise. I can't wait. Okay. And this isn't just me, surely, but whenever I use the Dovetail Live website, it takes 3 frickin' years to update. Like, you press roadmap, and then literally like 30 seconds later it will load. But then if you spam it, because you haven't known if it's loaded or not, because there's no feedback, there's no closed-loop feedback system, if you keep spamming it, then it'll just keep reloading itself on 30-second intervals, so you can't get anywhere. Sorry. So we've got Rice to Dresden in the upcoming. We've got lots of ongoing compatibility, unpreserved collection things. Got Class 313 is the first on the list for the Loco add-ons. It'll be on East Coastway, very cool. The standard 1938 tube stock. I don't know why they're calling it the standard 1938 tube stock, because it's just a 1938 tube stock. Coming into blind, I'll finish the list once we're at the station, but no, I'm just going to concentrate on stopping. Okay, full brakes. See, this is, you can tell, oh no, that, I thought that'd be something, but it's not. So why is that dot there? Because that's the objective marker. It thinks we're supposed to stop behind us, but it also doesn't at the same time. That's not someone on the track, no, that's not. That's the 4-car mark. Who cares? Why would there be a 2-car service along there? But they're 170s. If you live in the south of England, if you live on this line, or if you know a lot about it, please do tell me. Do ever 171s run along this line? Or what 2-car unit would run along this line? Please inform me. Please do. Anyway, they've got the 313 for East Coastway, you've got the standard 1938 tube stock, which I don't like calling standard, because it's just a 1938 tube stock. The standard stock is a different thing. From Rivet, for the Bakerloo line, obviously. The DBBR 187, which seems like a very cool locomotive. I'm just going to refresh myself on what it is. I can remember it's very cool, but I can't remember it. It's a Trax, I think. Well, almost everything's a Trax. Yeah, it's a Trax. They're the ones that kind of look like shipping containers. They've got corrugated sides. Israel Railways use some of them on their new 160km/h line, and they look very nice. Yes, and no, they'll come for Schnellfahrstrecke Köln. Look at me, I know some German, and I know how to pronounce it decently. Schnellfahrstrecke. It's not brilliant, but whatever. Then there's the DVB-R420, funny number, ha 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 ha, which is a an older S-Bahn type. I know that, and that's by that's by TSG. The 187's by Skyhook. There are a load of third-party developers out here. There's the BR232 for Reskins from TSG. I presume TSG stands for Train Sim Germany. That would make sense. The 232 being a retro diesel locomotive, but like a proper diesel locomotive, not like a shunter. So think like a diesel equivalent of a 143 or a 112 or something along those lines. I think they're East German, but I'm not sure. We have the G7. Now that is a diesel shunter for Reskins as well, and that's also by TSG. Deutsche Bahn, apparent. Oh no, it's not. It's the G6 operated by private companies. So that'll probably be similar to what the 363 sees. And they got the London to Brighton with the 377-4, which is what we're in, and the 387. And then there's West Cornwall local, Penzance to St Austell and St Ives. I know it's been extended to Truro, and people correctly corrected me on that in the roadmap video I did with the 150-2, and rumour has it that it'll also include an HGST of sorts. However, I'm not sure what that will entail. But we also know it's going to be set in BR times, so it will not include either BR or very early franchisees, so it will not include the IEP, IETs, whatever. And that's about it for the moment. That's about it. But yeah, very, very exciting. All of the new locomotives to explore. So that'll bring some love back to the other routes. It'll be really cool to see the 187. I'm particularly excited, as well as the 387. Don't get me wrong. Let's get some screenshots. I love the horn though. It just sounds so full. It's not like on some of the German not the German locomotives, or some of them. The German locomotives are all synthesized, so you can't really blame Dovetail for it. But some of the American locomotives, I meant, where it's just whenever you tap it, it just. Most of the Peninsular Corridor locomotives I can think of, they've got incredibly nice horns. But I'm not a fan of. I like it when you press the spacebar or whatever the equivalent is on console or whatever device you're playing it on. When you press space and the horn doesn't come on immediately, or it doesn't get to its full extent immediately, and that way you can see if I just tap it, it's quieter than if I do that, and it gets really loud. Oh, okay, slower speeds, I guess. Oh, back up to 90? Okay, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I find that a bit... I like it when there's a delay, or like on the American trains especially, when you press the spacebar and there's like half a millisecond or a millisecond, no, more than a millisecond, maybe like half a second, whilst the air pressure builds up to actually make a noise, rather than just going and it plays. And I know on the ACS 64, when you hit the horn, it plays a note. So again, Dovetail did it well. But especially on the both F40PHs that we have, you press the spacebar, and like half a second later, then it sounds a note, and it sounds fantastic. I hate it on like Sandpatch Grade and Cane Creek. That's one of my only pet hates about those routes, and most of the other American routes as a whole. When you just press the spacebar. LIRR is the other exception as well. When you press the spacebar, It just sounds immediately, and I don't like it. I don't like it. The bell sounds are very nice though. Again, and I've said this before, I don't know why American trains have bells anymore. We're not living in the 1800s. You can hear the horn from a much further distance than you can hear a whistle. There's no need for a bell. FRA, which, for those not in America, is the Federal Railroad Administration. FRA, if you're watching, fuck bells to the moon and back. Okay, we are going over here. Emergency. We are going over. Wasn't paying attention. And that's the punishment. These are very long platforms though, we might be able to salvage some of it. If not all of it, actually. If we stop here, I'll be very impressed. No. Even with a long platform, we might be going completely over here, actually. We might be going completely over. One door in the platform. One door. Okay, no. We're backing up, thank you very much. We are backing up, and we're still early. Still a minute and a half early, because we didn't stop. But whatever. Okay, then we switch the dynamics. Not the dynamics, the regen brakes come off, of course. There you go! Knock them off. Dun 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 dun. Let's just whack it into neutral for now. It's safer. Also, another thing, which would be cool, is Gatwick Airport Station on the Brighton Main Line has the double arrow logo engraved into the roof, which I would love to see. You know, and all the planes flying overhead as well. That'll be nice to see. See if they've actually modelled it. Why is there a hill there? Isn't that meant to be the sea or something? I shall get OpenStreetMap and clarify to see if that is actually correct information. Dun 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 dun. No, I won't use OpenStreetMap, I'll use OS Maps. Which is a thing in Australia. But I'm going to use it for its intended purpose in the United Kingdom. Come on, load! Faster, please. There you go. Hastings, Eastbourne. Where are we? We're at Polegate. We're just going past there. Oh no, there is a hill there. Oh, there's a cliff. And Eastbourne's on one side of the cliff. Okay. Well, who knew? Alright, so we've got 7 minutes before we got to be into Eastbourne. So we can afford just to stick on throttle 1 for the moment. Rounding the bend. Down the hill and round the bend. Thomas and his friends. Dun 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 dun. Come on, a little bit of brakes, please. Let's set ourselves a challenge, not use the speed set for the rest of this. Okay. Got 6 minutes, although it is quite tedious getting into the platform because the speed limits just stop. They just stop. That is what happens. Oh, there is something on the Seaford branch. Nice. Nothing in New Haven Harbour. So New Haven Marine. Why that station even exists? You can walk. Like it's less than a train length from New Haven Harbour. And New Haven Town isn't that far away. Of course, originally it was built so that you could just walk from the train practically straight onto the ferry, but at the moment you can more or less walk from the train straight onto the ferry anyway. Which is ironic, because, you know, previously BR would have been the predecessor companies would have just said walk, it's not that far, because people walked, whereas now the rise of body shaming, which is something I don't agree about, in certain conditions, like people saying you can't call me fat or obese because that's rude, And whilst if you just walk up to someone and say you're fat, it is rude. If you have decent grounds to call them that, i.e. medical reasons like shortened lifespan due to unhealthy eating habits, then I think it's perfectly justifiable. And I can say that because I've lived on the underweight side of the spectrum for most of my life. Not anorexic, but I used to be very, very thin. I'm not anymore, in case you're wondering. But yes, I can't even remember what I was talking about. Yeah, so, you know, now with the rise of fat people and body shaming, well, not so much fat people, lazy people, people who would rather walk 5 meters instead of 50, and who use a car for everything in their life. You know the ones. You've all seen them before. You've all encountered them. The ones who will drive to the bottom of the street. The ones who will drive to the other side of the suburb to go to the coffee shop, which is like 500 meters away, and you could get good exercise from walking there. Yeah, I would have thought that it's those people who are who you'd want to cater for. There's a lot more of them now than there would be in the 1920s and 30s, or whenever New Haven Marine was built and opened, would be my thinking. So, you know, it'd make sense in my mind that you would have had not much reason previously to have that station, but you'd have quite a fair amount of reason to have it now. And I'll clarify what I said earlier and rephrase it. If you're seriously obese to the point where it becomes a health problem, then it's a health problem. If you're on the overweight side of things, but it's still within a healthy weight, or it's just beyond healthy weight, it's fine. No one cares. And if someone does just walk up and call you fat, then that is... I don't like to use the word fat shaming or fat phobic, but it's discriminatory behaviour. And it's just outright rude. In any case, just walking up to someone and saying you're fat is outright rude, yes. But, like, if you're on the serious, like, if you're obese or severely obese, then that can lead to acute health issues. Or even chronic health issues. In which case, go and see your doctor about it. I'm not saying it's your fault, often it isn't. But obesity is a leading cause of death in many places in the world, and it can be preventable. So, if possible, prevent it. But also, discriminatory behaviour is a completely preventable occurrence, and it's also, you know, rude and discriminatory. So that can also go and be stopped as well. So those are my opinions on fat shaming. If it's justifiable, then it's justifiable. If you're using it as a throwaway term, like you would, like, I don't know, 20 years ago people would call you gay, then yeah, that is bad. Or if, you know, 100 years ago people calling someone black, calling someone fat, but yeah, whatever. If you have a genuine reason to call someone fat, and you're backing that up with your genuine reason, i.e. it can cause health issues, then I think it's okay. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!